So, read Ella's mail, title History Lesson, and then hear the summary of Scarlet's War at Lion's Arch. Well, I'll read through the mail. So, Baldwin Cleaver, we have a saying at the Derman Priory, remember the past so you may shape the future. With that in mind, I've been conducting interviews and collecting historical information on Scarlet Briar and her war against Tyria, starting in 1326 AE. I've prepared a summary of my research for you. It covers the major events of her campaign leading up to the final attack on Lion's Arch in 1327. Meet me at Lion's Arch where you can. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Magister Ayla McKay.
So what ended up happening after we killed Zaitan and Season 1 started that nobody can play now, a Sylvari named Scarlet Briar kind of went off her rocker and decided that she was going to go on a rampage and everything, and she got this big drill thing that she took to Lion's Arch and was drilling down trying to get at the ley line, which is a stream of basically magical energy underneath the city, and in so doing, the big battle happened and Lion's Arch was destroyed.
Yeah, because if you remember, whenever we've gone to Lion's Arch in the story instance, it's looked totally different from what it does in the main game. So that was the old one, previous to those events. So that's what people got to see when Guild Wars 2 first came out and would go to Lion's Arch. And then when Season 1 ended, they put a new Lion's Arch there after it was destroyed in the live events. Yep. And you can actually go down to the, like, underwater, to one of the waypoints, or not waypoints, points of interest, and the drill is still down there, or part of it, I think.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. So
what?
Yeah.
What we're gonna go watch is just the in-game recap of the events, and it unfortunately only does sort of a half-assed job at it because in the meantime, during Season 1, you met like 6 new characters. And you became very buddy-buddy with almost all of them. And by the time you start Season 2, which is the next chunk of the story that we can play, they're all just like, hey, Commander, how's it going? Nice to see you again. You're like, who the hell are all of these people?
That's it.
And the in-game video doesn't really introduce them. Or like, it does, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to fast travel to Gate Hub Plaza Waypoint at the Eastern Ward. That seems to be the closest one. See you there.
At the Eastern Ward.
It's where the surrogates are for the different cities.
But she's over on White Crane Terrace, if I recall correctly.
Is she? All right. The marker was just a little bit south of this waypoint for me.
Well, let's go to Eastern Ward Waypoint, and maybe I'm misremembering.
Oh, no, she is, yeah. I've just loaded in.
Okay, so I'm going to Diverse Ledges, and you can come to me.
Okay. I'll just waypoint there. Whatever. Yeah, I'm the same, Bell Sunflower. They're great characters. It's just, I would have really loved to, you know, meet them organically and get to know them through a story again.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that 3-hour YouTube video.
Yes, definitely.
Try to imagine ourselves in it.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. So much history in the making.
Alright, so I don't know if you can you actually rewatch this yourself as well?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Scarlet Briar. Where should I begin? No one at first knew why she began her reign of terror. Some say she peered into the very fabric of the universe and went insane. Her attacks began in the northeast and spread like fire. She formed uneasy alliances and controlled her minions through deception and brutality. She leveraged their technology to scan for currents of magical energy called ley lines. Each attack had a purpose, allowing her to collect data from across Tyria that would later be used to assault Lion's Arch. When all hope seemed lost, the heroes of Tyria rose to the task, along with new allies. Bram Arison of Kragstead. Rox Whetstone, Gladium. Casimir Mead, Mesmer. Marjorie Delacroix, Investigator. And Taimi, Prodigy from Radasum. Led by the Pact Commander, they dismantled Scarlet's operations. But while they reclaimed the city at the Battle of Lion's Arch, they would later discover that she had completed her mission, even in death. Scarlet's machine struck the ley line deep beneath Sanctum Harbor, directing its magic far into the Maguma jungle. Changing the course of history.
Dun dun dun.
Cool. Cool. So, remembering Scarlet's War complete.
You can ask the Magister about the characters.
Salutations.
Mm-hmm. Right, well that mail I just got is for the Living World Season 2. Alright, so, hello Baldwin Cleaver, I've been busy documenting Scarlet's War for the Derman Priory. Care to hear some history? I'd like to know a little bit about Marjorie Delacroix.
Marjorie Delacroix is a necromancer from Divinity's Reach. Until recently, she was a member of the Ministry Guard of Divinity's Reach, and was responsible for protecting various Crichton ministers and their staff. She quit that job after witnessing some terrible abuses of power. After she left the Guard, she went into business as an investigator for hire, taking on various cases that her clients needed handled, often with discretion. When Scarlet's Aetherblades assassinated Theo Ashford of the Captain's Council, Marjorie led the inquiry that led to the arrest of their leader, Captain Mai Trin. Trin later escaped her cell and fled to the Mists, shortly before Scarlet's attack on Lion's Arch. Miss Delacroix would later help destroy the Tower of Nightmares in Keswick's Hills, along with Lady Casimir Mead and the Pact Commander, who led the mission. Through her connections as a Dermond Priory member, she obtained evidence samples left behind by Scarlet's forces. The Pact Commander, with Marjorie's help and that of Casimir and Vorp, predicted the attack on Lion's Arch. Despite their warnings to the Captain's Council, the city fell, but it was later reclaimed. It's a pleasure to see you.
Okay, tell me about Casimir Mead.
Lady Casimir Mead comes from noble stock, but her family has since fallen on hard times. Her gambling brother Kyle put the family deep into debt, forcing her father to liquidate their possessions. Despite his efforts to fix Kyle's mistakes and unable to pay his own bills, her father was thrown into prison, where he died. Casimir, now forced to work, found employment as an investigator with Marjorie Delacroix. Their combined efforts, with the Pact Commander's help, led to the solving of Theo Ashford's murder during Dragon Bash. Casimir was instrumental in uncloaking the Nightmare Tower, as well as in other battles during Scarlet's campaign. She distracted Scarlet in the final battle on the Breachmaker, giving the Pact Commander a chance to deal the death blow. Salutations.
Okay, curious about
Rox
rocks.
is a Gladium. She lost her entire warband in a mining explosion. Since then, she performed tasks for Ritlock Brimstone, the Blood Legion Tribune, in an effort to join his Stone Warband. She crossed paths with Bram at the Molten Alliance facility. Together, under the leadership of the Pact Commander, they infiltrated the weapons base, freed the prisoners, and destroyed that operation. Throughout Scarlet's campaign, Rox fought beside the Pact Commander, providing ranged support and healing the injured. She accompanied the strike team that led the assault on Scarlet's Breachmaker in Lion's Arch. When Bram broke his leg during the fight, Rox stayed behind to tend to him. She also revived Marjorie Delacroix, who was wounded by Scarlet's blast. In tending to her friends, she forfeited her opportunity to kill Scarlet, leaving the Pact Commander to do the honors. This was in direct conflict to her orders, and it ultimately led to her not gaining membership in the Stone Warband. Every day's a good day to learn something new.
Tell me about Bram Arison.
Bram Arison hails from Kragstead, a sizable homestead in Wayfarer foothills. He's the son of Aristogalcan and Borgia the Sunchaser. As a child, he never knew his mother. She and Borgia parted amicably so she could forge her legend with Destiny's Edge. Bram's father, a hero in his own right, agreed to raise Bram to adulthood. Unfortunately, that wasn't meant to be. Borgia died when his son was a young boy. In the care of friends, Bram grew into an impetuous teen. He has a reputation for being a bit impulsive, but his heart's in the right place, or so I'm told. When the Molten Alliance swept through Norn lands, Bram saw the violence firsthand. He sought help from the Char at the Black Citadel, but was turned away. Tribune Brimstone had no troops to spare, and he didn't believe the claims that Bram was the son of his guildmate. Undeterred, Bram approached Newt Whitebear in the hopes of gathering Norn to fight back the invaders. Again, he was denied, as the Sons of Svanir were perceived as the bigger threat to Holbrook. Bram ultimately teamed up with Rox Whetstone, a Char Gladian who had fought the Molten Alliance at Nolan Hatchery. Together, and with the aid of the Pact Commander, they infiltrated the Molten Alliance weapons facility and destroyed it from the inside. Bram was involved in a number of operations against Scarlet. He joined the Pact Commander in the final assault on the Breachmaker, but he broke his leg in the process.
Cool. Yeah, Earson. I mean, that's interesting to me that, I mean, okay, Earson obviously means he's Ear's son. That's the naming convention like Nordics have, or some Nordic countries still do. It's weird, though, because normally it's named after the father, not the mother. So I wonder if that's a Norn thing, or if it's more because, you know, her legend was greater or something. You know, like she had
Maybe.
priority, or if it's just a choice. So that's kind of weird.
But he doesn't really get on with her, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Because he was
left.
raised. Yeah, he was raised by the father, or at least to a point before he died. So yeah, very odd. Want details on Timey?
Ah, Timey. Rarely have I seen so much intellect and attitude crammed into such a tiny body. But don't let her size fool you. Between her feisty attitude and her skill at Golomancy, let's just say you wouldn't want to get on her bad side. She comes from Radasum, though her studies have taken her abroad. She first came to my attention when Scarlet's marionette was stomping around. Her obsession with Scarlet's research led to some crucial discoveries. When she speaks about magic, especially that of elder dragons, you'd best listen. It's a
Timey's the
pleasure to see
best.
Yeah.
Any other recent occurrences I should be aware of? The Priory has been investigating surges in magic energy, Interior's ley lines. I'm sure they would welcome it if you have the time. That's that achievement, isn't it, where you do the ley line survey stuff or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've done it.
Yeah, I think I have. Here to talk about the lodestone I gave you. There have been reports of unusual ley line surges. We don't know what they mean, but the dragon minions are drawn to them. It may be connected to the stone you brought me. Yeah, so I think those are for those things. So they're in the achievements. Let's see.
So much history in the making.
They normally live. Side stories, isn't it?
I don't remember. It's been
Yeah,
so
it's
long.
current events, and then there's that conservation of magic, justice of the blade. But it's those that you need to, that you do.
Yeah.
That's what she's talking about there. And Transfer Chaser was the one where you have to track disturbances in the magic flow. That's right. So you have to run around with that locator thing and find those little hidden sensors or something.
Yeah, I've done that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that one
It
was
wasn't that bad.
pretty easy, yeah. Once you kind of get the hang of the mechanic. Okay, well that's everything. So, do you want to do the next story? Living World Season 2?
Sure thing.
Yeah.